Hi everybody, Tom Hardy is back in another comic book movie sporting a more intelligible accent.
I don't know.
Kinda. Venom has hit theaters in what Sony hopes will be the first of many spin-offs starring Spider-Man related characters. This week on Heat Vision Breakdown, we look forward at what's next and offer a few suggestions of how to make a Spider-Man universe work. Let's begin with a quick recap. Long ago, before Marvel Comics was the powerhouse it is today, and Stan Lee had become technically the highest grossing actor of all time, that's true, the company granted the film rights to many of its prized characters to Hollywood studios. Fox got the X-Men and Fantastic Four, soon to return to Marvel thanks to the pending Disney-Fox merger. New Line got Blade, Lionsgate got Punisher, and Sony scored arguably Marvel's crown jewel, Spider-Man, and the hundreds of related characters going along with him, even Iguana, the worst of all of them. Spidey has had ups and downs on the big screen with Sony, but in a landmark deal with Marvel Studios, the wall crawler can now appear in MCU movies like next year's Avengers 4. Or maybe not. Still hurts. Spider-Man. Venom is taking place in a universe separate from the MCU, though that sort of depends on who you ask. Former Sony chief and longtime Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal once said the two universes were one and the same, though I guess she forgot to tell that to Kevin Feige.
Well, those movies will all take place in the world that we are now creating for Peter Parker. I mean, there'll be adjuncts to it. They may be different locations, but it will still all be in the same world.
So what exactly are the Spider-Verse films in the works? Glad you asked. Tom Hardy has signed on for 3 films to appear as Eddie Brock/Venom, so it's safe to say there could be more of him, them, in the future. While Marvel Studios casts smaller stars like Chris Pratt or Chris Evans and turn them into A-listers, Sony has gone the opposite route, courting A-listers like Hardy and Oscar winner Jared Leto for its projects. No Chris's. Leto is attached to play Mobius, the living vampire, in a standalone film for Life director Daniel Espinosa. And by casting the actor, they have saved millions on production costs as Leto is a real-life vampire. Have you ever seen Jared Leto in direct sunlight? Have you, Brian?
Nope.
No one has. For a long time, Sony was developing a Black Cat Silver Sable film from Gina Prince Bythewood, before opting to split them into separate features. The studio is also developing a film about African-American hero Nightwatch, which has had interest from Spike Lee, as well as Silk about a Korean-American superhero. Spider-Man villain Kraven the Hunter, who dresses like rapper Macklemore, also is tentatively getting his own feature. Though it's worth stressing that none of these movies even have release dates yet. So like that proposed Black Cat Silver Sable movie, they could just disappear. Like Spider-Man. The big question mark is how any of these movies would tie together. Marvel Studios found success by slowly weaving its stories together over 4 years, culminating with 2012's Avengers. DC, on the other hand, failed by doing too much too soon. Oh, you like superhero team-ups? Here's a bunch of emails and YouTube clips shoehorning the rest of the Justice League into an already bloated movie. Who made those logos? Was it Lex Luthor? Was he bored one day and decided to mess around in Photoshop? Regardless, Warner Brothers is now focusing on standalones, like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker film, many of which take place decades in the past. Smart money would suggest that Sony should be incredibly cautious when trying to tie its movies together, particularly as, unlike the Avengers, many of its characters don't actually have a lot of natural reasons for interacting, outside of telling each other which neighborhood from New York they come from. Oh, you're from Queens? I'm from the Bronx. Unfortunately for Sony, the team-up people actually want to see is Spider-Man and Venom, and that's the one that poses the greatest difficulty. Tom Holland, who has a 6-picture deal to play Peter Parker, is currently shooting his second Spider-Man solo movie and will appear in Avengers 4, meaning after all is said and done, he'll still have 1 film left on his contract. Though, as Robert Downey Jr. and Hugh Jackman have shown, contracts are made to be extended again, and again, and again, and then again, and again one more time. A Venom without Spider-Man doesn't make a lot of sense, and many speculate that's why the Hardy film is rated PG-13 instead of R, so that tonally it wouldn't be jarring for the two to have a crossover in the future. There are ways this could work. Sony's other Spider-Man movie this year, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The animated film takes place in a different universe entirely, the Spider-Verse, and establishes there are multiple Spider-Men in various universes out there. Could Sony's Spider-Man universe take a page from that and introduce a new Spider-Man not played by Tom Holland for this universe? Or, better yet, could Tom Holland's Spidey somehow travel to Venom's universe, or vice versa, via some sort of science experiment? It's comics after all, the land of crazy, convoluted plot lines, and that might be a nice compromise. Here's what Tom Hardy himself had to say at the Venom premiere.
We didn't get him.
What the hell? So what do you think? Do you think we'll ever see Venom and Spider-Man on the big screen together again? I hope so. Let us know in the comments right down there and join us here every Friday morning for new episodes of Heat Vision Breakdown. With me.